Got a message today from Guy Power Wheels. I'll leave the link down below, and he had a real good question he asked me. He said, he's a Hot Wheels collector and was looking to get into GI Joes and wanted to know the best way, how he could do so. So basically, what I'm going to do here is kind of give you a rundown of how I got started. I'm no expert. I'm not claiming to be. I'm not saying this is exactly what you should do, but these are just some tips that I have, and I think they might be helpful to some people. And the basically how I got started. If you're tight on cash, which a lot of people are these days, like Vintage Fetcher said, pick yourself. I was lucky enough. My mother, she was smart enough to save the boxes and put the toys away for me, so I was really lucky there. But, you can get started with anything that's, maybe of little value to you, maybe something that you don't use anymore, and get rid of. I traded a bunch of He-Man, sold a bunch of He-Man and Transformers, which I'm really not into, and started getting into Joes. So, basically, what I would recommend is, maybe throw some ads out there. Throw some ads in Craigslist, go to the wanted section, toy section. Wanted GI Joes 82 to 86, so on and so forth. Basically, the way I do it is I won't sell anything unless it's really complete. The vehicles, I'll sell them without the box or without the blueprints, but they got to have all the parts. Even sometimes without the driver, because some of them are pretty hard to find. But you want to try and make sure that they have all the parts if possible, and try and track down the blueprints and the boxes. The boxes are really, really hard to find. You're really not going to be able to find those too much. But as for the figures, now I don't sell any of my figures unless they're 100% complete with the file card. And what I mean by the file card here is I have full card backs. You don't necessarily have to have them. Just the file card here. Usually they're cut out. I saved the card backs for my personal collection because these here are really hard to find. I mean, it's almost impossible to find these full card backs these days. Usually it's just the file card itself. But I try and make sure that they have all their little pieces. That's the way you're going to get the most amount of money for them. It turns a figure with, just the figure itself from a $3 to $5 figure into anywhere from a 18 to some figures are $70, $80. Some maybe $100 to the right guy if it's a rare figure. But I go through and I keep them in little cases like this. You don't have to have a case like this. You can put them in plastic bags, whatever. But I make sure that they're all complete with the original file card. That's the way you're going to get the most amount of money out of them. And when I buy these lots here, a lot of the times they come with a ton of extra parts, extra missiles, and I hang on to a lot of this stuff. You could turn around and sell it. I'm going through GI Joes all the time, and the chances of you getting stuff that's 100% complete and getting it for a good price is pretty slim. So you're going to want to have, little totes like this with the parts. Same thing with the figures, you're going to want to hang on to the weapons, the helmets, stuff like that. That way you can buy the figures by themselves really cheap, and, you'll have all the guns, weapons, and helmets to track them down. Now, you say there's a lot of weapons, a lot of stuff here. How do I know which goes with which? Well, there's a great site called yojo.com. You can go on there. There's photos. They have archives of all the old figures, 82 all the way up, and they'll give you lists and photos of all the different parts, guns, weapons, all the different stuff that goes with each individual figure. So you can track the stuff down that way. And I just buy these little craft things here. I have about 5 or 6 of these things that I have just tons of parts, extra bands you see here, and they have extra little section things that you could, section off smaller areas. They're really, really key when, I have my big machine guns here. I have assault rifles here, helmet accessories there, helmets there, so on and so forth. And we got to look here. These figures here are all complete. So I keep all the little parts, right in there with the figures, so nothing gets lost. And if you want to get started, that would be what I would advise. I would put some ads in Craigslist or go to some of the GI Joe websites and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I've had really good luck with Craigslist. The majority of the time, people, especially in this economy, they got this stuff hanging up in their attic. A lot of people don't see a whole lot of value in it. So you go there and you throw a good number at them, and usually works, and they'll take the money, and you got a bunch of good stuff. You come home and separate the parts, and like I said, go on YoJoe and figure out what you got and what you don't got. For some of those hard to find pieces, obviously you can go to eBay and stuff, but you kind of want to stay away from eBay, because you're gonna have to pay fees. You're gonna have to pay higher prices, stuff like that. So I haven't had much luck at flea markets or tag sales or anything like that finding this kind of stuff. I found very few GI Joe stuff that was worth buying at tag sales and stuff like that. And when you are looking for these figures, condition is everything. See here, we got this guy here. He's got the Cobra symbol there. That's what you want to see. If the Cobra symbol's all worn off and his paint is all scraped up, and he's really not in that great a shape, you're gonna want to kind of stay away from that. Now, a good way too is these have little rubber bands inside of them. You see, like here. And a lot of the times they get dry rotted and cracked, and the figure's split in half. And a lot of people tend to think that they're junk that way, but they're not. There's a little screw hole there on the back, and they come apart, and you can easily fix the rubber band. Now, you're going to want to look inside there. If that screw is really rusty and really crappy and doesn't look like it's going to come out, you're going to kind of want to stay away from that figure. But it's a real easy fix. I have a video on my favorites if you want to go down there and check out. I'll show you exactly how to change the rubber bands on these figures. They're number 10 O-rings. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any place like that. The GI Joe sites have them too. Just a regular number 10 plumber O-ring. Just a little black O-ring. They come in a little plastic case like this. They have a little blue symbol on it, that'll say number 9 or number 10. Some people use 9s, 10s. They both work. But those are just some quick tips that I have for people to get started. Mr. Power Wheels, I hope that helps you out. Eventually, once you start building up your stuff, you'll be able to have a stock of parts and have a stock of missiles and stuff like that. So when you do start to find stuff, you can feel a lot more comfortable with buying it without it being complete. And when you turn around to go and sell these things, don't try and wring every single dollar out of people. Price your stuff accordingly. Price it to sell. That way, when the customer goes and buys something, he's going to get it for a good price, and he's going to remember you the next time. If you try and wring him for every single dollar, he's probably not going to come back to you. He's probably going to look for a cheaper avenue next time. So that's kind of a little tip for you guys out there. Another thing is it's really hard when you're collecting stuff that you like. Don't fall in love with the stuff. Don't price it as sentimental value. You have to look at the realistic value. Just going on eBay and checking the prices, that's really no good either. You got to go to completed listings and check the completed listings for the past few months of what the average price is going for, because some jackal, he can price it any way he wants. So you got to see what these are actually selling for. And look at the figures and see, is yours in worse condition or is yours in better condition? Does he have all the parts, or do are you missing something? But my main thing to say is condition, and being 100% complete. Those are the two keys that I would say are the most important if you're going to get into buying and selling these figures. You're not going to make a ton of money. It's not going to make you rich, but you can definitely support yourself and pretty much support your habit, or whatever you want to call it, your collection. So I'm not having a real problem doing that. I've gotten really lucky on Craigslist finding some really cool people. And, I've went and looked at some junk. Some people have sent me pictures that, once you get there, the stuff looks a little worse. And, so there's definitely some traveling involved. And, there may be some disappointments, and there may be some times where you're just like, yes, my Terradrome pick, that was one of those picks. You got stacks of full card backs. I mean, who has those? Very, very few people, let me tell you. That's why, when I saw these here, I decided I'm going to keep these for my collection. And I would be able to get top dollar because nobody has the full card backs. If you have a complete figure, 100% complete with the full card back, that's pretty much as good as you can get, other than it being mint on card. So as you can see here, a lot of the figures I've just showed you, here's all the full card backs. So just some few tips, like I said, I'm no expert at this, I'm fairly new at it myself. The toys anyways, I've been buying and selling stuff pretty much my whole life. But I found my little niche here, and it's something that gives me a lot of joy, and I could put a little coin in my pocket at the same time. Vehicles, the same thing. If you could find the boxes, even if you could find just the blueprints or just the boxes, buy them. If this is something that you're going to get into, eventually you'll come across the vehicle for those blueprints or for those boxes, or find somebody that has the vehicle and doesn't have the box. So whenever I see boxes or blueprints or file cards, and they're a decent price, I usually snatch them up, because those are the hardest things to find. Well, what I've found to be the hardest things to find. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps you guys out. Peace out.